guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another international video. This international video is the under-21 playoff, crucial playoff. Republic of Ireland taking on Israel on Friday at Tallaght Stadium. They played the second leg then a few days later. And Daz, delighted to welcome you onto the show today. What's the crack?
Yeah, it's good to be back, Keith. It's been a while since I've been on, but it's good to be back with another Ireland video.
Ah, brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. Now, this is an interesting one against Israel, isn't it? Because when the draw was made, I think a lot of fans thought this will be a handy draw, which is, by the way, there's no handy draw when you get into the playoff because every team has qualified, has finished second in their group. You could argue maybe there could have been a few tougher ones, but at the same time, Israel probably look at Ireland in the same way and say, look, there's a chance for us to go through as well. Ireland have never qualified for the tournament. I believe Israel haven't either. Stand to be corrected there. I was trying to find out, couldn't find out, but I don't think they have. Interestingly, both teams finished second in their groups. Both teams finished with 19 points, 6 wins, 1 draw, and 3 defeats as well. We'll talk a bit about Israel first because they had 2 very narrow defeats actually in their group to Germany, 3-2 and 1-0. Obviously, German under-21s are going to be strong, aren't they? But their key wins, really, key results, really were against Poland, which they won away and they drew at home to finish ahead of Poland. They also beat the Hungarians twice. And I had to a quick flick through them. I did notice that their away form generally now was better than their home form, which is interesting as they play Ireland from their point of view away in the first leg. And they do have some interesting players as well. They've played for the Israel national team, the senior team as well. So they have a lot of experience there. Eden Karzej is the captain, 22-year-old midfield player, has played for the senior team. Omri Gandelman as well, another player, 22, who's played for the senior team. So you can see how some of these players, I was looking through them as well, and I think Ireland might have a younger under-21 squad, if you get me as well. And then you've got Abada as well, young players at Celtic. A lot of people might know him as well, and he's also played and scored for the senior team. So they're going to be a threat, Daz, aren't they?
Yeah, Keith, look, they definitely are. And I suppose if you're looking at both teams, both teams are going to be high in confidence because they've both got to this round of the playoff. So they've both obviously went through phases where they've been winning and playing well and have earned the right to play in a playoff. It's not like a relegation playoff. It's a playoff to get. It's meant your chance to go into a proper championship. And like both teams will be really up for it. Like, it is going to be a great game, probably if you're watching as neutral, but if you're an Israeli fan or an Irish fan, it's not going to be as fun. It's definitely going to be tough. Like you said, the experience that this Israeli under-21 team seems to be quite a lot. If you've obviously been in around the senior setup, like a few of our players have been, such as Aaron Connolly and all that, who also has scored for the national team. For us, we've similar players like that have experience, but the fact that they have that experience is going to make a big difference to them as well. Like, they're going to be going in with experienced heads, players that know what it's like to play for the senior team and don't actually want to go far. This will be probably their last few games with the 21s, so they're obviously going to want to do something. And look, it's not going to be easy. And like you said, that Israeli team have a fine record away from home, which is it's a strange one. You don't often see it, like teams that play well away from home. It's strange. It's awful. It's not common. And the first game away to Ireland, like a 1-1 for them would be an absolute excellent result, I think, and take it back to Israel for them. But I'll be certainly hoping that it's not a 1-1. It'll be a 1-0 for Ireland.
I think as well, the interesting thing from my point of view as well is that Ireland have quite a few players in the senior squad that actually are eligible to play under 21, whereas Israel are using kind of the most of their players that can play at that level. They're all going to be playing pretty much for the Israel under 21s. So, they're kind of as strong as they can be, whereas Ireland aren't as strong as they can be. Now, Ireland can't bring those players down from the senior squad that are actually playing in the senior squad, a lot of them, to the under-21s. But you know what I mean? It just gives Israel maybe, a bit more strength from their point of view. Like, if some of those players I mentioned weren't part of the under-21 and were with the seniors, it would make them considerably weaker, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, it definitely would. It'd be the same as if we had a few of, our younger players in the senior team, the likes of Collins, Bazunu. I know Amambada is injured, but all these lads that would have been with the 21s last year before, Knight, they could be in this team.
Yeah.
Well, like, they meet the criteria, could have been in the team, and if they were in up to this point and pull out in the senior team, they would be a considerably weaker team. And it's the same setup with Israel. If they weren't there, they'd be considerably weaker. But like, that Irish under 21 team could be a lot stronger, but obviously them lads have earned the right to play with the senior team, and that's where they're at. They don't want to look back there, but that's where they're gone. Obviously, like we were discussing earlier too, there's been a few changes to the team too, and different players be coming in, younger players coming in again for the Ireland team as well.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing, I just caught me off balance there. Aaron Connolly is back in the squad, and I was just thinking about that based on what I said. The good thing about the Ireland under 21s either side is that they have a cohesion and a balance because they've kept the same squad together throughout the campaign. And I was just wondering what your thoughts were on Connolly coming back in there, because technically he's an addition, but he hasn't really been part of the squad and he's had his issues and that and all that kind of thing. How do you see that addition?
Yeah, look, I think an addition like that really can go either way. But I do think Connolly's attitude, look, has been questioned. Managers have come out and questioned his attitude, but I think he's reached a turning point in his career. He's obviously moved abroad. He's moved to a completely different league. There's not too many Irish in that league. Not many British Irish players go out that far. No one really does. I know it's only Italy, but no one goes out there. But he went to try something new to try and get his career back on track, and he's been getting in and out of that team, I believe. But I think it's good that he's been brought back in. It's shown that he's not just down and out and he's either senior team or nothing now. He's been given a chance to come in and do something. And look, he could be a real hero on Friday night. He could be the one who can score the goals and get them through. And suddenly everyone's talking about how great he was and that he got the goals and got them there. And like when he does play well, like that season with Brighton in the Premier League when he was playing, he actually was really good. If he could rediscover that form, even for the Irish 21s, like he will be remembered for that. And going forward, it puts him in a really good position going forward. And I've no doubt Stephen Kenny will be looking at him as well. And like it wasn't too long ago, it was Obafemi in his place, and it was Aaron Connolly in his senior team. So you can look how the tides can turn that way as well.
Yeah, we had a few withdrawals and a few players came in, but I think the biggest withdrawal for me is from two reasons. One, he was playing brilliantly throughout the campaign, and another absolutely awful injury that Liam Kerrigan got, ACL, after getting a move to Como, playing, in that Como team, scoring. Sickening injury for him to get at this point of his career. And, not only that, but he is a loss to the team as well. He was playing very well on that right hand side for Ireland, and it's a sickening one for him, isn't it?
Sickening key. Look, we wish him all the best. Like, you don't like seeing any players get injured, but ACL is a particularly bad injury and it's a very long rehab time. I think anyone who watches football knows that. But at least in this day and age, the rehab is a lot better. And players often come back good. Like, whereas if you look at 10, 15 years ago, obviously players didn't come back that well. But there's no doubt that Kerrigan's attitude is really good. He'll do the rehab really well, and I'm sure he'll want to get back as quick as he can. And it's terrible. There's no good time for an injury to come, but when you move to a team, you're playing well, you're getting in the team, you're scoring goals, you're in the national team set up, and then this happens. It's absolutely awful for the lad, and you have to feel for him. But look, it brings an opportunity for somebody else to come into the team and show what they can do.
Yeah, I suppose from a League of Ireland point of view, Daz, it shows if you're playing well in the League of Ireland that as a youngster you can be called up to the international squad. And we've seen that with the likes of Andy Lyons has been part of this squad throughout the campaign. And other players like Dawson Devoy's obviously with MK Dons now, but he was getting the recognition while he was at Bow. Same with Ross Tierney, actually, to be fair, in that sense. But recently there, a trio of Pats players have been brought up, Adam O'Reilly, Joe Redmond, and David Odamusu. Now, David Odamusu, to be fair, hasn't been playing with Pats, which is an interesting one. But I think the two lads, Joe Redmond and Adam, have been Pats' two best players this season. And they probably won't play a part, but it's great to see that they get called into the squad, having performed in the League of Ireland, I suppose.
Yeah, it's great to see players in their own domestic league get recognised and get brought in. Even if it's just a token gesture, but to be brought in and shown what the national team is like, this is the level that it's at. And if you keep going, you could be Andy Lyons getting in there, you could be Ross Tierney getting in there, you could be Dawson Devoy getting in there, like you could be Brian Maher getting in there. Like all these players have started in the League of Ireland, played in the League of Ireland, senior team players in the League of Ireland, and then went on international. Like if you any of them players listed out there now all play in England, and Andy Lyons has thoroughly deserved his move. He's having an unbelievable season. He's a really, really good player, and I'm delighted that he's still there. He's a brilliant player, and it'll be a really good these past. There's a bit of interest. People looking up, going, where are they from, and all, or if they do get on and actually show something. It'd be really, really interesting. But I'm delighted. I love when League of Ireland players do get in and when it's deserved. Interestingly, call Musu up. Like, he actually is not playing. I wasn't really sure what to make of that. We obviously know Musu, like, from the season with Drogheda and all, and how good he actually was. We all know he's a great keeper. But I just found it a bit interesting how he's not playing with Brian. I actually did find that one interesting now. But look, he's still there. He might get to play. Who knows?
Probably shouldn't with Brian Maher and Luke McNicholas
No.
there, but yeah, exactly. He shouldn't really. But yeah, another interesting facet I think is that Leo Connor, who's that Tranmere, has been playing really well for the under 21s. Superb at right back. But it's interesting that Festi Ebizele is in. I can't see him taking his place though, because O'Connor has been a stalwart in this campaign and brilliant at right back. So if Ebizele plays, he can't play left back or right back, can he? He might move to the left, you'd wonder, or maybe even further up the pitch.
Yeah, I think Ebiseli would be very good as a wing back, or actually as a right winger. Like, for that Derby team at the time, he's played in loads of positions for there, and he has operated on the wing at times. So it'd be great to see him there. I'd like to see him further forward. He's strong and powerful and fast, and I think it would suit him. But yeah, it'd be really, really good to see him there. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Keith, but I'm almost sure Lee O'Connor has the most amount of caps ever for an Irish one player. He's some serious number of caps.
20 something, I think, isn't it?
I think it's even higher than that again. But
like, I'll have a look afterwards.
He's a vastly experienced player for us, and I think his experience really could play a part in this for us, for our team. Even just having him there, like, he's played against a number of international teams, and I think for myself, because I watch an awful lot of international football, it's completely different than club football. Completely different. Your game approach, players out of position, like, it's completely different. And if you have a few heads in there that's playing in a number of international teams, I think you can see a bit of confidence, a bit of a player on the pitch who thinks they don't get overexcited, to keep things simple. Leo Connor gives you that, and I think he's a very good player, and I certainly hope he gets to play.
Yeah, a couple of other players have been called up recently are Sean Rowan at Lincoln, and to be honest, he's getting that at the back of coming back from injury. Coming back to the League of Ireland with Drogheda actually helped him. He's now playing first team football now with Lincoln, which is fantastic to see. But Joe Hodge is in there. He was on loan with Derry, do you remember, but never got to play because of an injury. But great to see him back in the squad as well. And but the key players, I suppose, have been part of it. I mentioned Leo Connor there, but you've got the likes of Will Smallbone, who after this campaign, in my opinion, will probably be called up to the senior international squad. He's been playing brilliantly in this campaign, scoring goals as well, and is out on loan at Stoke and playing very well. So he's going to be a key man, isn't he, Daz, over the two legs?
Yeah, I think so. He's definitely going to be the midfield general. He's going to be hopefully the one pulling the strings of midfields, box to box, going forward, going back, operating that midfield. He's a terrific player, and he's certainly worth keeping your eye on. And I really hope he will get the call up to the senior team soon. I think we actually said this like a year ago. He's one to watch, and he's after breaking in now, obviously properly. Like, he is one of the first names on the team sheet in that 21 team. He's someone you certainly don't want to be without, because it's quite hard to replace in that 21's pool without obviously going to the senior side. It'd be very hard to replace him. And look, it's brilliant that he's playing championship. Like, championship football is really, really hard, and he's getting into that team, and he's playing well with Stoke, like you said. So really, really good, and he's a really talented player, and I think he's going to go far, and I really hope he does.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does in attack, because I'm a big fan of Evan Ferguson. He's only 17, but he's got a lot. He's got the physique as well. Doesn't start all the games actually, but whenever he plays and comes on, he performs well. Be interesting to see if he actually starts him. Actually, he's been going well with Brighton as well. I know it's the underage, but even so, getting a lot of plaudits there. Do you think he might start?
No, I don't think he will start. Obviously, this is a playoff game. It's completely different than a league game. The group stage game, you're going to need your experience. For me, if I was a coach picking the team, I'd be picking experience and informed players, really, and fit players. That's who I'd be going with for this kind of a game. I could certainly see him coming on, but I don't see him starting. But I wouldn't be disappointed if he did start. He's tall, he's strong, he knows what the back of the net is. I've seen him play a good few times. I'd be confident if he was playing, but I personally don't see him starting.
Yeah, I think he might go Odubeko, because he's the man that tends to start. Tyreek Wright as well tends to play, but he plays usually on the wing. But I suppose, Daz, in your opinion, what's a good result and what's a bad result? Do you think Ireland need to win the match at home necessarily?
I think Keith, look, realistically, a draw would not be the end of the world. The tie
Mm.
is still alive,
Yeah.
and it's everything to play for when you go to Israel. Now, obviously, a win, excellent, 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 brilliant, brilliant stuff. Put you in the driving seat going for full of confidence. You can lead to protect. You have something to build on. But a draw is it's not the end of the world. Like it's something to play for. It's something to look back on. Like how did we get the draw? Where did the goal come from? Where did we concede from? How can we play differently? How can we set up? How can we attack them? If we go a goal up, what do we change? If we go a goal down, what do we change? I think a lot of variables come into play with a draw. And I think, honestly, I think a draw would be a good result. But a bad result would be a loss. A 1-0
Mm.
loss, it'd be a killer. Like
And I
you
wonder
have to go
if
to
that'll
Israel
play
and
into
you would have
the.
won it.
I wonder if that'll play into the mentality a little bit, a bit of a caginess, because they can't lose the game, I would suggest, but a draw isn't a bad result, so it might be a little bit cagey.
I think so too. And realistically, look, Israel is probably thinking of the same principles, the exact
Mm.
same way, thinking we go to Ireland, we'll get a draw, we'll bring it back to Israel.
Mm.
A loss would be the end of the worst result, but a draw would be a good result. I think both teams will be thinking the same. I'd be confident Ireland can get something out of this. I've really enjoyed watching this 21 team play, full of energy, full of enthusiasm. They get forward when they can, they put loads of crosses in, they play good football, a faster, attacking, talented bunch of players. I'd be confident we'll get something out of the game. If I was to predict it, realistically, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think that'd be a really good result. But I do think we could get a win. We've potential to get a win. And I'm very confident putting a really good shift and a good performance. And look, I really hope we do something now Friday night. And I'd be confident that we will.
Yeah, I'll go for Ireland to nick it in a cagey 1-0, which I think most people would take. But look, guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Who would you pick in your team? What players are there to watch? Give us a prediction. Subscribe, hit your bell notification button, and thanks for watching. Cheers, Daz.
Cheers, Kate.